Elite Facts presents
7 accomplished athletes who were caught cheating.
7.
Cameron Vanderburgh, Olympic swimmer, used improper swimming technique. Cameron Vanderburgh won gold and broke a world record in the 100-meter breaststroke finals at the London Olympics back in 2012. But despite his success and not being caught by any of the multiple cameras present at the event, Cameron Vanderburgh would later admit to taking extra dolphin kicks to propel himself further than his rivals. In the breaststroke category, swimmers are only allowed 1 kick, but Vanderburgh used 3. He was allowed to keep his medal, but competitors are now filmed underwater to make sure they don't cheat. We'll give him credit, at least he was honest and came clean about his victory.
6.
Jon Jones, MMA, caught doping after championship victory. Anyone else want Jon Jones to attend their funeral to lower them into the grave so he can let us down one more time? Seriously, in the past few years, Jon Jones has just done so much to tarnish what would have been an amazing legacy. It's pretty safe to say that Jon Jones is one of the greatest of all time, only 30 years old, and has dominated the sport of MMA for almost a decade, with only 1 loss and 1 no contest in his 24 professional fight career. Just recently, Jon Jones defeated Daniel Cormier by KO at UFC 214 for the light heavyweight championship. Unfortunately for Jones, he tested positive for turinabol, and the outcome of the fight changed to a no contest, and the championship was reinstated to Daniel Cormier. Jones states that he doesn't know how he tested positive, but that's pretty much what everyone says when they get caught.
5.
Mike Tyson, the bite fight. So Mike Tyson is one of the greatest boxers of all time. His streak of victories from 1985 up until 1989 was incredible. 33 of the 37 fights he had during that time period ended in either TKO or KO. He was one of the most dominant champions ever. Unfortunately, he would eventually meet his better when going up against Evander Holyfield for the first time back in November of 1996. Holyfield absolutely destroyed Tyson and won the fight via TKO in the 11th round. After this embarrassing defeat, the two were set to meet in the ring again 7 months later in a rematch. Unfortunately for Holyfield, he probably should have worn one of those head guards they use during sparring. The arguably mentally unstable Tyson once again found himself outmatched and knew he wouldn't win. So what did he do? Well, as much as we like Tyson as a fighter, he did one of the most disgusting acts in boxing history. Tyson bit down on Holyfield's ear, removing a small chunk from the top of it. When the fight continued, Holyfield lost a portion of his other ear when Tyson bit him again, and the fight was called off. The match became an event cemented in boxing history.
4.
Lance Armstrong, legendary Tour de Force cyclist, doping allegations. It's a shame about what happened to Lance Armstrong. He was at one point one of the most inspirational athletes in the world. Hell, he still is to some degree. Lance Armstrong battled cancer and continues to battle a doping scandal that could potentially, if it hasn't already, tarnish his legacy. It goes without saying that the Tour de France is one of the most intense races in the world, with undeniable prestige and victory. A former teammate of Lance Armstrong's, Floyd Landis, came forward and aired out his own doping history and also detailed the complex regimen and usage of other cyclists. Lance Armstrong said, quote, "As long as I live, I will deny it." Needless to say, though, considering his previous battle with cancer to becoming one of the most well-known professional cyclists in the world, you've got to admit it's pretty inspiring, despite all of the doping allegations that surround his legacy. Just don't dope, kids.
3.
Marion Jones. Marion Jones was probably the biggest thing about the Summer Olympics back in 2000. She has been described by many as the star of the show as she flew to Sydney, Australia, won 3 gold medals for the United States of America in track and field, and brought the gold back home. Jones also spent some time in the WNBA, playing for the Tulsa Shock. Out of all of her accomplishments, however, it was her track career that was most noteworthy. Unfortunately, it's now noteworthy for all of the wrong reasons, as it turns out that she was taking steroids to help herself win the competitions. As you probably expect, Jones was stripped of her gold medals when she made the admission after names from the Balco case started to drop, and hers was a part of it. Jones also had to spend some time in jail as a result, spending up to 6 months in prison for all of her troubles. Yeah, substance abuse is pretty serious when it comes to the Olympic Games. If you're an athlete of the future, just don't do it.
2,
Pete Rose. Over the course of his long and illustrious career, Pete Rose earned himself the nickname of the Hit King of Major League Baseball. Rose began his professional career in 1963 and retired as a legend in 1986, holding a number of Major League and National League records, including the record for hits with 4,256. He was the manager of the Cincinnati Reds from 1984 to 1989. He's most known for the accusation that he bet on games that he was involved in as a manager. This is strictly forbidden in baseball because as a manager, you're in the position to make decisions that could affect the outcome of the game. There was an investigation into the allegations, and Pete Rose voluntarily accepted a permanent place on baseball's ineligible list in 1989, giving credibility to the accusations. Being on the ineligible list means Pete Rose doesn't qualify to be an inductee into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Pete Rose has been trying since 1992 to be reinstated, but his efforts have been pretty much pointless. Oh well, at least he made it into the WWE Hall of Fame. That's got to count for something, right?
1,
Barry Bonds. So yeah, this guy. At one point in his career, Barry Bonds was the guy. His accomplishments in the world of Major League Baseball are the stuff of legends. He earned a record-setting 7 Most Valuable Player awards, and the 14-time All-Star and 8-time Golden Glove winner holds seemingly endless Major League Baseball records, perhaps the most famous being the all-time Major League Baseball home run record of 762 home runs. Now that is impressive. However, as you'd probably expect, questions remain about Bonds' use of steroids, and he was indicted on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice for allegedly lying to a grand jury. There were no medals to be stripped, and he was not suspended per Major League Baseball collective bargaining agreement, but his tarnished legacy will forever have an asterisk attached. And that's our list. Did we leave any out? Let us know in the comments below. Please remember to subscribe and tap the bell button to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching another amazing video, folks. Subscribe for more from Elite Facts.